Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. I'm Benji Messer, music director. I use he, him pronouns. I'm all the way over here because we get to have our choir in service today. Today, our sermon focuses on a question song, the song Why by Annie Lennox. And so I have chosen other question songs to fill the service. And the one we're starting with is called Why Worry? It's been used by a lot of contemporary social justice movements. I found it through If Not Now, which is a movement of American Jews organizing to end U.S. support for Israel's apartheid system and demand a good future for both Palestinians and Israelis, and they're a singing movement, and they sing this song. I invite you to sing it too. Please rise in body or spirit. Here we go. Why worry when you can pray? Why worry when you can pray? Pray to the Most High. Pray to the mothers and the fathers. Pray to the Most High. Pray for them to watch over. Oh, why worry when you can pray? That's how it goes. Now when you can sing, here we go. Why worry when you can sing? Why worry when you can sing? Sing to the Most High. Sing to the mothers and the fathers. Sing to the Most High. Sing for them to watch over. When you can love. When you can build, when you can build. Why worry when you can build? Why worry when you can build? Build to the Most High. Build to the mothers and the fathers. Build to the Most High. Build for them to watch over. Please remain standing for our chalice lighting.
Good morning. I'm Owen Lifshitz. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm your worship associate today. Join me as we recite our covenant and Rose lights our chalice. If you're watching remotely and have a chalice with you, please light it with us. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. Quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to share our strength in fellowship, thus do we covenant. Please be seated. Again, welcome. The Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix strives to be a spiritual community for our time, one that is theologically diverse, radically inclusive, and justice-centered. Our doors swing wide to embrace all who seek a welcoming place. May our worship today be a source of inspiration, a comfort in challenging times, and a call to action. If you're new here, we're so glad you found us. Our minister, Rev. Christine Dance, is on a sabbatical until the end of July. During her sabbatical, we're hosting many guest preachers, And when I first heard we were doing guest preachers, my first thought was asking my mom if we could invite Rev Anthony. So today we're hosting Rev Anthony Mtuaswa Johnson from Sedona and from UUCP. Rev Anthony, please open our service.
I don't have much mind left because it's been blown. Hey, the poet in me, my mind is blown, how much he's grown. And y'all, I'm gonna have to open my stuff up. I hope it don't ruin nothing with my analog, non-digital paper self. Well, good morning. It's such an honor and a pleasure to be back here. Our opening words this morning are for the one and only Howard Thurman. And yes, staying in that same question mode, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Wrong question. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Howard reminds, how about asking yourself what makes you come alive? What makes you come alive? And then go and do that. Because what the world needs now is people who have come alive.
We now invite anyone who would like to come forward for Together Time.
At this time, we'd like to invite anyone on Zoom to please turn on your cameras so we can see you and we can wave. And please wave to the back camera.
Sure, let me say, what's coming up is such a big joy and such a rare opportunity. As some of you may know, I'm currently the minister in Sedona, down the road, I can never remember. And we do not have the pleasure of having many, no, the truth is any, young'uns. So it feels so good, fresh, to be with some young people. It's just a pleasure and an honor.
So since today's service is about music, specifically why today, but what music means to you. Who here has a favorite song they want to share? Oh. I don't know if this is going to reach. Shout it out. Oh, yeah. Okay. To the Morning Dan Folkberg.
Yeah.
Oh.
My favorite song is the Greyhawk song from the actual hawk. Like when it comes back in the springtime, I start to hear it at my favorite preserve.
That's beautiful. Oh.
One of my favorite songs is Don't Frighten Me With a Good Time, because that was one of my sister's, that was one of the songs that my sister and mom would listen to. So I kind of associate Panic at the Disco with some memories of my childhood.
And that kind of leads into the follow-up question very well, which is, what does that song mean to you? I'm not sure how to do this, actually, because only I don't have many people answer. Okay. Sure.
So, genuine answer. Right now, my favorite song is the ABCs, because I have a 4-year-old and a 21-month-old, and it is adorable to hear them sing it. It just makes me happy.
I'm going to jump off of that because I too was a lover as a young mom of the ABCs and my daughter singing it, but what I found is we sang it during times when she was stressed, you know, because it was something she could remember. And so it's something that I still enjoy because when my mind is racing, sometimes I've found just recently fallen into the ABCs and it just clears my mind out and I can move on. I bet she does too. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
My favorite song is I Like to Go Wandering Along the Mountain Path, because every time I sing that, I'm out somewhere where it's beautiful and away from the pollution. That's why.
Very nice. Again, I don't know if it reaches up.
I think a wonderful song is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Everyone knows it, and it's about hope.
Okay. On that note, I think we're going to move on.
It just gives me the opportunity to say, for me, the message is always in the music. The music. The message is always in the music. And I'm going to mess with Benji, as I do with a lot of musician friends of mine who I admire, and I get their ire when I say, you are not a musician. You are, in fact, a mathematician of the soul.
All right, thank you, Anthony. Folks, you're welcome to stay up front or to return to your seats.
Each week, we split our offering between this congregation and an organization that shares our values. This month, our Share the Plate partner is No More Deaths, or No Más Muertes. The mission of No More Deaths is to end death and suffering in the Mexico-U.S. borderlands through civil initiative. People of conscience working openly and in community to uphold fundamental human rights. Their work embraces faith-based principles for immigration reform and focuses on the following themes: direct aid that extends the right to provide humanitarian assistance, witnessing and responding, consciousness raising, global movement building, and encouraging humane immigration policy. For all that you give, we are so grateful. Ushers, thank you for your willing hands in helping us pass the plate.
Good morning. I'm John LaBarbera. My pronouns are he, they, and I'll be reading your joys and sorrows today. Part of our journey as a community is sharing our significant milestones. You can put a note in the chat on Zoom, and if you want us to read your joy and sorrow next week, fill out a card before service at the small table at the back of the sanctuary. I have one right here. I have one via text message, and go ahead and put some stuff in Zoom if you are watching and have a joy or sorrow. Sam Kirkland writes, last Sunday, July 6th, Michelle and Sam celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary. And it somehow didn't get into the joys and sorrows last week, and they wanted to share it with their beloved community. Congratulations, Sam and Michelle. Another joy from Jez Putnam. I am filled with joy after helping do community science to find fireflies in Arizona for 3 nights in a row. I think that's really cool. I've never seen a firefly in Arizona, so if you can direct me to where those are, that would be wonderful. I'll take a few moments to check if any Zoom folks have anything. So far, nothing. Could be good news, right? No news is good news. Julie has kittens in the back, so if you want kittens, talk to Julie. We have a congrats to Sam and Michelle, and it seems like those are your joys and sorrows today. May all of our joys and sorrows, those named and those held in the silent sanctuary of our hearts, help us draw closer and care for each other.
Anthony, would you please lead us in a meditation or prayer?
So if you would, let us take a nice deep breath together. So I'd like to, as we do in UU spaces all over the world, as we did this morning, like that chalice. This deep breath is lighting that chalice that resides within every person in this room, or dare I say, in any room. So with the rekindling of that flame, let us recommit ourselves to accepting life's gifts with grace and with gratitude. And dare I say, these are gifts you can't get on Amazon, or that you do not have to order or go get. They are within us all. So let us accept these gifts of grace and gratitude and use those gifts to bless this world in a spirit of love. May it be so. Thank you.
Okay. So our next song, which is in our hymnal, and many of you may have sung it before, and you are welcome to sing along. It's inspired by a philosophical painting by the French artist Paul Gauguin. And this is the painting. It's symbolic. The right side represents birth, and the center represents life, and the left side represents death. And in the upper left corner of the painting is written, pretty small, in French, where do we come from, what are we, where are we going? So you will hear those words.
Where do we come from? What are we? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going?
Where do we come from? Where do we come from?
Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery.
Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going?
Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Mystery, where are we going? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery.
If I'm being completely honest, I hadn't listened to the song "Why" by Annie Lennox, what this service is based around, before this service. Or I listened to it to prepare. But I didn't say that right. It's okay. I listened to it for the first time to prepare for this reflection. Okay. When I first listened to it, it reminded me of a lot of one of my favorite songs called "Darling I" by Tyler, the Creator. These songs, I thought they were very similar, especially when I looked into the lyrics a little more. First of all, both of them have a recurring background vocal, which just makes them sonically very similar. And then when you dive into the lyrics, they're both very retrospective and introspective on relationships and on the artists themselves. And when I looked into it, "Why" almost felt like an autopsy report on a failed relationship. And I guess "Darling I" was a little earlier in the process, but they're both like regretful, introspective, apologetic. And even though I've listened to "Darling I" dozens, maybe hundreds of times, I hadn't really listened until I was comparing it, until I was analyzing the lyrics, dissecting what they really mean to the artist and what they mean to me. And it really provided me with a new appreciation and perspective on, I think, how I'm going to listen to music in the future. And honestly, I'd wholeheartedly recommend that when you all go home, you listen to your favorite song. Take a few extra minutes, think about what the lyrics really mean, really listen to what the song is saying.
Wow, I could just stay in my seat. Thank you for that, Owen. That was beautiful. So good morning again. Good morning. Gracious ones, and the rest of y'all too. I'm the Reverend Anthony Mtuaswa Johnson, and it is indeed a pleasure and a distinct honor to return to this spot. So for some of you who don't know, I hung out with these good folks for a year or more back in 2019, 2021, who forget the dates, and it was such joy, and I always love returning because in my heart, you see, I've never left. Yeah, so that's the way that go. My appreciation for this living tradition that we call Unitarian Universalism is best summed up in the words that we've adopted and adapted from our church in Dublin, Ireland, the UU Church of Dublin, one of my ancestral homes. They say, as a reminder for all of us to reflect upon, you see, in this place, we do not ask what you believe. We do not expect you to think the way that we do. But relax, we are UU, so you know we're going to ask something. We ask that you try to live a kind and a helpful life with the dignity proper to that of a human being. So welcome all who believe that religion is wider than any sect and deeper, dare I say, much deeper than any set of opinions, including my own, especially my own. So again, welcome. So today's message asks the question, that one word question, why? Why? And it's in that spirit of you and me and the power that exists in the sharing of our stories with one another, about one another. And it's in that sharing that we get to see the connection that is so real between all of us. That's how we allow it to show itself. I love words and music. I say I do not read books, I eat books. And my beloved who's sitting in the back can attest to that, because every time we get some mail, oh my God, you wouldn't got another book. But I love words and I love books. And then there's music. Oh, goodness gracious. And this particular, oh, and you hit it right on the head, and I would just reiterate as you snap your fingers and listen to your favorite songs, check out the lyrics. So I've been around the world a long time and love musicians and music. And this particular song, for some reason, has resonated with me. And I want to share it with you. By the dear Annie Lennox. I'm going to read what she said, and I'm going to share with you what came up in me. Is that all right? Is that all right? Oh, it feels so good to hear that response thing. Annie said and asked this question: how many times do I have to try and tell you that I'm sorry for the things I've done? And then she says, and when I start to tell you, that's when you have to remind and tell me this kind of trouble is only just begun. That's what friends do. many times do I have to try to tell you that I'm sorry for the things I've done? Don't worry about it. This kind of trouble's only just begun. So the meaning for me, and it reminds me that this is what friends do. There is no need to be sorry for what you've done. Because you're my friend and you're going to mess up again. And so will I. We be human. Kind of comes with the territory. But regardless of what happens, will you still be my pal? Will you still be my pal? So that's the question. Will you be there for me? Will we be there for each other, regardless of the sorrows, or even whatever caused it is secondary to me being with you? That's what came up when I heard that. And he continues. She says, I told myself too many times, why don't you ever learn to keep your big mouth shut? Now, you know I can relate to that one. I've been big mouthed since I came out of my mama's womb. So I love Annie said, she reminds, why don't you ever learn to keep your big mouth shut? And she says, you know, that's why it hurts so bad to hear those words that keep falling from your mouth. Falling from your mouth. Falling from your mouth. What she said to me and what I heard was, of course, I see myself and I'm talking to my television. The words that keep falling from that mouth, take out TV and insert social media. I digress for a second. This is me and you looking at each other. That's me. This is social media. That's anti-social media. Just my opinion. This is social. You got a media. I got some audio. We got some video. And we're being like social. Yeah, that's right. In fact, as many of you know, I claim that moniker or whatever of a poet, so I wrote a poem about it. Want to hear it? Yeah. It's called Television, and it goes something like this. Today, somebody arrested my dignity without my permission. Today, I got in the way of a television or a social media transmission. It handcuffed my integrity and choked it into submission. Today I got in the way of a television transmission. Now be clear, I love TV, but TV don't love me. Takes me to my lowest degree. The power of the spectrum used for gain. Main agenda, the pander of pain. Selling the unusable to the gullible. Selling the unusable to the gullible via brain strokes. And if you did not know it, my friends, it's automatic. We are electrical folks. It's automatic. Power of that spectrum used for gain. Main agenda, the pander of pain. Selling the unusable to the gullible via brain strokes. That's the way the energy works that way, folks. It's automatic. I want to do a test because I could be full of you know what. Check this. Now, I'm going to sing a little song and I'm going to get to the end of it and I'm going to leave the word blank and see if anything comes up for you. I think I can gauge my audience a little bit with this piece. Y'all might remember it. Go like this. Let me tell you a story about a man named Jed. Poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was hunting for some crude, and up from the ground came a bubbling. Now, how many people walked in here thinking about Jed Clampett this morning? It's automatic. My friends, it's automatic. It's in there. So, dear Annie goes on to say, one of my favorite lines. You see, I may be mad, I may be blind, I may be viciously unkind, but I can still read what you're thinking. I may be mad, I may be bad, and I may be blind. And viciously unkind, but I can still read what you're thinking. What that brought up for me when I hear that, in my mind's eye, is none other than someone you may have heard about. His name is Theodore Parker, UU Minister Reverend Theodore Parker. You should be grinning from ear to ear if you don't know that name. You can ask me later. But you know, everyone in here knows Theodore Parker. If I said something like, the arc of the moral universe always leads to what? Who said that? No, it was not MLK first. It was the Reverend Theodore Parker, way before my brother MLK. I wasn't going to say this, but I'm on a roll here. There's another famous saying, something that we Americans eat alive. Something go like this. Y'all know this one too. Of the people, by the people, and for the people. Who said that? Huh? Abraham Lincoln. Guess what? Same thing. Yeah, it was the Reverend Theodore Parker, one of your UU ancestors. I love sharing that. But don't believe me anything I ever say. Do the Google schmoogle. So Theodore Parker says, and he's often quoted, as I said before, but a part of that quote is, he says, I do not pretend to understand the moral universe. The arc is a long one. My eyes reach but little ways. I cannot calculate the curve. I just can't calculate that curve. I can't complete the figure by experience of sight. But he says, I can divine it, he said. I can divine it by conscious, that inner voice or feeling that is sometimes beyond your control, as in having a guilty conscience. So Theodore Parker, I can divine it, even though I may not be able to see it. Never forget our ability to see things that can't be seen. And I'm talking about you. You got to have no reverend by your name to be talking like that. I'm talking about you, all of us. And from what I see, he goes on to say, I am sure that it bends toward justice. That's that famous line. Bless Theodore Parker's soul. But back to our dear Annie in this wonderful song that she wrote. Annie goes on to say, and I've heard it said too many times that you're better off Besides, take a look around. Can't you see this boat is sinking? I've heard it said too many times that you'd be better off. Besides, can't you see this boat is sinking? Now, you know, it just like what came up for me immediately, she's talking about my society. See, this is the boat that's full of isms and oppressions, racism, sexism, genderism, if you will, white supremacy, all patriarch, all those isms. And I see them sailing along in that boat, just kind of sailing along as they have for centuries, my friends. But now, can't you see that boat, that particular boat, is sinking? Now, it's going to kick up a lot of waves. It's not going to go down gingerly, as you can witness every day and every night. But can't you see that boat is sinking? So you might ask yourself, so what do we do? I have an offering, and it is just that, an offering. Let's go down to the water's edge, and we can cast away those doubts. Now I'm going to do something that y'all don't usually do, I'm guessing, but that's the African in me. I want you to stand up for a minute and just raise your right hand. That's nothing like. Thank you. I said I asked folks, please stand up, and we're going to do something what I call embody. Because as much as words and music do what they do, the body is the bomb. So if you raise your right hand, and we're just going to cast away those doubts. Cast away, cast away, cast away those doubts. Thank you so much. Thanks for putting up with me. Yeah, we can just, that's an offering. You can literally cast them away. And you know about body memory and all that. So that's it. Let's go down to the water's edge. These are Annie's words. Let's go down to the water's edge, and we can cast away those doubts. Some things are better left unsaid, but they still turn me inside out. Turn me inside out. Tell me, why? 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 So what came up for me is let us cast away any doubt of the inherent value of every person. Just cast that away. Yeah, even them. I'm talking about even them. Whoever your them is. Because I know I'm somebody's, oh Lord, them. That's the only way I can figure it out. It's got to be everyone, or as I like to say, everybody. It's got to be everybody. Period. So let's go through the motions which we did, the feeling, the agony, the grief, all of that together. Just cast away any doubt. You know, there's an old African proverb that reminds us, that says, you know, because a lot of times we're in a hurry to do stuff, and that's okay. But this proverb reminds us that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. I don't know about you, but I want to go far. So let's go together. And then Annie gets to what I call the sweetest part for me, my judgment. Annie's, oh Lord, she's just too much. She says, this is the book I've never read. These are the words I've never said. This is the path I'll never tread. These are the dreams I dream instead. This is the joy that seldom spread. And these are the tears we shed. This is the fear. This is the dread. These are the contents of my head. And I said, girl, get out of my face. Woo! I'm going to say it again in case you was asleep. This is the book that I've never read. These are the words that I've never said. This is the path that I will never tread. These are the dreams that I'll dream instead. This is a joy that is seldom spread. These are the tears I shed. This is the fear. This is the dread. And these are the contents of my head. Every time I hear that, it does something for me. What came up for me as we continue to dissect this piece, as Owen did with his? It says, I mentioned earlier that I love books and eat books and all that good stuff. These are some of the words that I've said. She says, my dreams instead. That's a place like this place. A place. It's a worship space. It's a sacred space where what I believe, thank you, darling, where what I believe is okay, and that what you believe is okay too. And I don't have to agree with you to love you. I'm going to say that again. I don't have to agree with you to love you. Because the last time I checked, you were one of those worthy, inherent beings that we attest to recognize. So your beliefs are okay too. A space where reason, a place where reason and nature and mystery. Life is a riddle and a mystery. Y'all warned me with those words again. That mystery and nature and reason dance in sacred spaces that UUs call home. Then she goes on, speaking of today. And these are the years that we have spent, and this is what they represent. So I see and I feel the lover for many, many centuries, shall I say. I hear the sound of the marginalized people. BIPOC folks, women folks, gender fluid folks. How have we been represented? And these are the years, we can insert centuries, that we've spent. And this is what they represent. This is how I feel. This is how I feel. You see, Annie says, because I don't think you know how I feel. I don't think you know how I feel. I don't think you know what I feel. I don't think you know what I feel. So tell me, why? 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 That remains the question that I often may have 1,000 answers. What is your why? What is your why? What is your why? Blessed be. Amen. Ashe.
Well, thank you, Reverend Anthony. Such a sweetheart. So good to have you back here. So after that long introduction, here's the song you've been hearing the lyrics from. I'm very excited to bring Rose Pasco up to the front, who many of you know through her work in children's ministry here. And choir, please stand, and let's do this.
Thank you, Rose. That was great. After our closing hymn, noon activities will be listed on the screen. We don't have refreshments for coffee hour, but you're welcome to stay in the sanctuary for a coffee-less coffee hour and chat. Rev Anthony, thank you so much for joining us today. Please give us some closing. Please give us some closing words.
Sure. Thank you. Our closing words today are from that great sage known as Lao Tzu. It's entitled, Fill Your Bowl to the Brim. You know, we all like to get as much as we can in that bowl. Lao Tzu reminds us that when you fill your bowl to the brim, it will eventually spill. You keep sharpening that knife, and it will eventually blunt. You chase after money and after security, and your heart will never, ever unclench. Care about other people's approval, and you shall be their prisoner. Lao Tzu tells us there's three things you got to do. Do your work. Step back. That is the key to serenity.
Thank you, Anthony. So, we always end our services by singing together, and because just the way this service worked out, we have a last song for you now after closing words that we invite you to stand. It's the song Woyaya by the band Osibisa. I think it's a good answer to our service of questions. Woyaya means we are going. Maybe we don't know where we're going, but we will get there somehow. So please rise in body or spirit and sing with us. Oh, there's a call and response thing at the beginning, so let's practice that. It goes, Woyaya, 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 Woyaya. Oh, right, you got this. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. Here we go. Next slide, please. Here we go. We are going, heaven knows where we are going, but we know it's there. It will be hard. It will be hard. We are going. We are going. It will be hard. everyone. Go in peace, go in love.